This episode of Bringing the Heat is brought to you by dog strollers. For when you want to go for a walk, but your dog says, nah, I'm good. That one just still makes me laugh from earlier today. There was a lady walking her dog, and the poor dog was like, I don't want to be here. Hello and welcome to Bringing the Heat, the series that explores the inner workings of the town of the Flower Mound with a twist. I'm your host, Justin Hobbs. Today we're taking a bite out of the Public Works Department with Director of Public Works Clay Riggs and Assistant Director of Engineering Brian Waltenburg. Gentlemen, welcome to Bringing the Heat.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very glad to have you here. So how this is going to work is we've got a list of 10 questions here, and we've got 10 progressively spicier wings that we're going to go down through. As we work through the wings, we'll work through the questions. So our first wing, which is going to be the one closest to you, is going to be the classic. The classic is Heat with Heart by Heatonist. That is the description on here. This is 1800 Scoville heat units. So this is going to be a really easy one to start out with. So go ahead and grab up that first wing.
You can handle this one.
Yep, and let's give it a try. Thoughts, impressions?
Like a buffalo wing.
Tastes a lot like a buffalo wing.
A little flavor to it. Pretty good.
That's good. Our crew here has mentioned that these are some inordinately large wings also. Are you pleased with the size of your wings?
Well, you don't want them too small.
No?
I would prefer them to go from bigger to smaller.
You'd like the last ones to be the smallest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good strategy, but I don't think they're gonna do that. So we'll just deal with it. So, well, now that we've got that first wing, let's go with our first question. So Public Works is one of the largest departments in town, but some people may not actually know what that role is. So can you explain what your department does and how it helps the town?
Sure. So Public Works has many functions. We make sure that residents have safe water to drink. We make sure the wastewater is treated properly. We make sure that during rain events and other events that the town's not flooding. We also make sure that the streets are in good condition, that all traffic signals are operating and functioning the way they're supposed to. So like one of the things with our streets is a lot of residents may not know, but we actually don't maintain all the streets in the town. So some of those streets are maintained by TxDOT, and then in gated communities, the HOAs maintain the HOAs, the streets in the HOA. One of the other functions that Public Works does is engineering. And so whether it's engineering on our long-range planning, or when a development comes in, or when we have to expand our infrastructure, or if we have to have a major rehabilitation or something like that. And that's kind of where Brian's team comes in and handles a lot of the large-scale projects.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, we handle all our streets projects, street construction, water construction installation. We also work with the developers to make sure that what they're putting in will meet the requirements of the residents of the town. We're basically just making sure the infrastructure's up to par and it'll serve what we need the development to serve, or the infrastructure to serve.
Very good. All right, well, let's go to wing number 2. Wing number 2 right here is from Dawson's Hot Sauce Company, and it's cedar smoked garlic. And I would attempt to pronounce that in French, but I won't today. This one's gonna be 7,000 Scoville heat units. So this is gonna be a big jump from the previous one.
What was the first one?
First one was 1,800. Okay. So it's only
5?
triple that. So
Oh, good.
triple that and a little. No big deal.
And this is a big one too.
Mm-hmm.
I like the size of this one. Taste the garlic.
Tasting the garlic, do you taste any smoke in there?
A little bit.
I like the other one better.
Yeah.
This was definitely kicked up the spice a little bit.
Oh yeah, well it's gonna get way worse. So we'll just keep going. So question number 2. A large part of what you do is related to the Capital Improvement Plan, or the CIP. What is that, and how does it benefit the town?
So the capital plan is basically, you can think of it as like a blueprint for our future infrastructure that we're going to build in the next 5 to 10 years. on the capital plan, it includes, like I said, the water, the sewer, also includes our park projects that we plan on doing, as well as any facility projects such as like the town hall or a library. We also work with Public Works and the staff of Public Works, like the operations guys, and they help us populate the projects that need to be on the CIP, especially for projects such as like rehabs or infrastructure that's not satisfactory, and we'll go ahead and fix it.
Excellent. Well, very good. Well, let's move along to our next one. This is going to be sauce number 3, which is Clark and Hopkins, the Calabria. This one is 15,700 Scoville heat units, so more than double the last one. And this is my smallest wing, so good for me.
I think it went heavy on the sauce on that one.
Not very spicy yet.
We'll see. Give it a minute. You still got more wing. So,
Thank you.
all right. Well, while you work on that, let me know if it starts to get to you. That one, yeah, didn't do too much to me. It tastes kind of like tomato sauce, actually.
Wow.
So, which it has a sort of classic Italian theme to it. So maybe that's the plan. So, question 3. When residents see construction happening, the workers are not typically town employees. Can you explain why we would use contractors instead of town employees for some of these projects?
Sure. So a lot of the work that we do, particularly the Public Works operations side, is related to maintaining, operating, and fixing the infrastructure as needed. A lot of times when you're seeing a lot of contractors and big contract jobs, it might be related to a new development coming in. And so with a new development, we would require the developer to bring and install all of the infrastructure needed for that development. And so they have to hire their contractors to put it in.
Yeah, I'd also add that a lot of times you see contractors on site, but there are also a lot of town employees involved in the major projects. Our inspectors are on site all the time, especially focused on whenever making sure that contractors are installing all the infrastructure right, but also to making sure that the residents aren't impacted as much as they could be otherwise. So if a resident is driving by a project and they don't know what it is, or if we're doing something out in front of somebody's house and they see a town truck, they can go out there and talk to our inspectors. That's what they're there for. But yeah, there's a lot of people involved in the projects, and contractors just one of them.
Very good. All right, our next sauce, number 4, is going to be the Angry Goat Pepper Company. This one's called the Phoenix. It has a little phoenix on it. And this one's 39,000 Scoville heat units. But on this one, you won't be participating. Why is that?
Well, as I was looking through them, I noticed that the front of this says cantaloupe melon. And unfortunately, I'm allergic to melon. And so my throat kind of swells up and kind of want to go home tonight to my wife and kids.
We also want you to go home tonight to your wife and kids. We have the firefighters here just in case, but for anyone watching at home, we didn't sauce him with that one. We got him a second round 3 for him to eat. So let's try that one. The Phoenix is cantaloupe melon and Scotch bonnet. So it combines ripe cantaloupe melons with orange blossom honey, citrusy Scotch bonnet peppers, and the added zing of datil peppers and the creamy smoothness of olive oil.
Besides the Scoville use, that sounds good.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed. I want to try it.
I mean, I'll let you. I'm not going to stop you from trying it, but then you wouldn't be able to do the rest.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
It's good. It has a little tangy flavor.
Does some sweetness. All right, so question number 4. The town has its own wastewater treatment plant, which processes the wastewater for the town. To help with that process, what should we not be pouring down the drain or into storm sewers or any of those things that we should know better?
Sure, there's a lot of things that go down the storm or go down the sanitary sewer down to the plant. And so some of the things that you should not put down are baby wipes, obviously motor oil and other greases. Not only is that hard to treat at the plant, but we have to remove that before we do the treatment. So at the plant, we have these big screens and we have to screen all those materials out. So definitely don't put those in there. That costs a lot of manpower and costs a lot of money to remove. And then the oils and things can actually cause blockages in the sewer system. So we definitely don't put motor oil or cooking oil, those types of things down. One other thing too is not to put down medications. Medications and all those types of things are hard to treat and hard to remove, and so those end up going back into the water supply.
All right, let's get you back on board with the next wing, which is going to be number 5, which is Hot Ones Los Calientes hot sauce. And then it has a long description with a lot of words, and it tells you to put it on everything. All right, well, we put it on chicken wings. Let's give that a shot. This is a big one.
It's not too bad. Not hot quite yet.
Good. I'm liking it. I enjoy this one.
I think I like this one the best so far.
That's a good flavor.
How would you describe the flavor?
Spicy, but it's good. I don't know, it's a good heat. I don't know what's in it.
Spicy, but it's good. They should just put that on the bottle. That's a good selling point. All right. Sorry, I had a lot of wing to work through there. So, question number 5. Flower Mound homeowners may or may not know this, but a lot of them have utility easements in their yard. What does that mean, and how does that relate if I decide to go into my backyard and start digging holes?
So utility easements are basically reserved spaces where the town or franchise utilities, electrical utilities can install infrastructure to provide service to residents. So sometimes when you purchase a home, you'll get a survey, and on that survey you can see easements. And at some point, there may be currently a water line there, or a sewer line, or some type of infrastructure, or there may be, it's just space for future infrastructure. And if you're digging in your yard, or you're planning to do some type of work, Texas 811 is what you want to call, and it just simply dial 811 on your phone, and they'll come out and they'll mark the utilities in your area. And it's really important because you just don't want to damage a water line that you didn't know was there, or a gas line, and it could cause big problems.
Yep.
We've got our next round of wings, and we're ready for our next sauce. So our next sauce is gonna be the Queen Majesty Cocoa Ghost Hot Sauce, because everyone wants chocolate in their hot sauce. And they have it here, don't worry. Black cocoa, salt and spices, dried plums, pineapple, because why not? You should maybe read all of these.
I'm good.
Ingredients. You read all of them, because they're putting weird stuff in these. So, all right, well, good. So this one is 71,000 Scoville heat units, as compared to, we just did 49,000. So let's give this one a shot. The Cocoa Ghost by Queen Majesty.
Like at this point, it's just cover up the hot sauce. That's not good at all.
It's not great. I like it better today. I'm also hungry today.
Yeah.
I didn't eat strategically, so.
It's like bitter and spicy.
It's bitter and spicy. Yeah, not the best. All right, well, let's get on to our next question. So in February of 2021 and February of 2022, we experienced some really intense winter storms. First and foremost, thanks to you guys and all your staff for what you did during those storms, because you guys were working it. But what did we learn from these, and how are we using those lessons learned to prepare for future events?
Sure. Yeah, that spice is starting to get
Yeah, heat's coming on a little bit.
sneak up a little bit. Yeah, so
So last year, and then most of the time, whenever we have that inclement weather rolling in, we know that we're going to get snow and we know we're going to get ice. And we start our snow and ice operations, where we bring in sanders and the plows, and we'll sand the major intersections and sand the bridges. Also, typically our traffic group will go on call because we want to make sure that all of our signals are operating appropriately. And then other folks will come in and make sure all the backup generators are working and all the infrastructure is functioning. So typically, a lot of times it's typically just snow and ice. Now, 2 years ago, that's when we got hit with the really extreme weather. And when the real extreme weather hit, we started our normal operations and we thought, no, it's going to be pretty much normal. We know it's going to be bad. But then we started having all the power outages. So with all the power outages, that caused residents a lot of harm. And what happened is they started losing heat to their homes and their water pipes started bursting. And so all of a sudden we're doing our snow and ice operations and we start getting hundreds of calls from residents to come help me turn off my water. I can't figure out how to turn off my water. So one of the, just sometimes it's the simple things. One of the simple things that we learned is Google Street View can sometimes be your friend, because what we had happen is we're going out there helping them turn off their water, but we don't know where the meter is. It's covered under inches of snow. And so the guys figured out, well, we can just get on here real quick and look at Google Street View and go, hey, that water meter's over there by the tree, by the sidewalk. So actually this morning we actually had a prep meeting, and that was one of the things we were talking about. Let's see.
Yeah, and also, so right now we have a capital project. It kind of leads back into the capital plan a little bit, but we have a capital project where we're putting in auxiliary power generation in some of our larger water distribution plants. And one of the reasons the town was so, I guess, fortunate to make sure that we didn't lose water pressure, we didn't have to issue boil water notices, was because we were very forward thinking even before this event happened. And we had already had backup power at a lot of our facilities.
Very good. All right, so next sauce is going to be the 13 Angry Scorpions is the name of the company. And this is Jekyll and Hyde, which is aged moruga, scorpion, and chipotle barbecue style hot sauce. I now need to check. No, it's a type of pepper. It's not actually scorpion, so that's good. So aged moruga scorpion peppers. You are about to eat some. So this is gonna have 109,000 Scoville heat units, as opposed to the 71,000 we just had. So let's see how this goes. Thoughts on flavor? Spice?
I like the flavor a lot. I feel like the one, well, it's kind of heading now a little bit, but I feel like the one before may have been spicier, but.
Yeah, this one gets you.
This one I got on my lip, and that's not good.
Yeah, that's not a great thing, but you definitely should not take a wet nap and rub that around. That doesn't help. Previous guest tried that. It didn't work out very well. Well, good. Well, if that starts to get any worse, let me know. Again, we got firefighters. We're all good. So the next question, though, is no matter where you are, traffic is a hot topic. In this year's budget, they've included adaptive traffic signal implementation along the Morris corridor. What does that mean? What does it entail? How many motorists will it affect? And how many R's and S's are in the word Morris? If you can remember all of those questions.
So I'll start off by what the project is, and then I'll let Clay that last one for sure, Clay can do. So the project itself it's installation of, it's new technology. It's adaptive traffic signal technology, where it's kind of an AI system that helps move traffic through a corridor. Typically, we would have a set schedule or a set timing schedule for the signals. And for the afternoon PM peak, where all the traffic is coming through the corridor, it's a little hot right now.
Yep.
Okay. In the afternoon, PM peak, when you got most of the traffic coming through the corridor, you have a set timing schedule. Well, that timing schedule may be interrupted by certain things like fire, or if someone's hit a crosswalk button, and that may back this traffic up, and then that may affect it for the next 30 minutes before everything kind of catches back up into the schedule. The adaptive kind of adjusts that in real time. So the goal is for this Morris corridor, it's a pilot project to install this adaptive system on a corridor that is busy, but not maybe one of our busiest in case it doesn't work as well as we hoped.
Yeah, so as Brian said, you know, your typical signal, your individual signal is timed, and you do look at a corridor and you kind of try to time them all out to where they're in cooperation with one another. With adaptive, it is adapting. It's basically the signals along the corridor are talking to each other. And so if the traffic goes through one signal, the next signal, before they approach it, that signal has an idea of what's coming. And so it's constantly adapting. And if you see changes in patterns in traffic flow, it adapts to that. Your other questions were, one was Morris, 2 R's, 2 S's. What was it?
So what's the actual like hardware implementation, if any, that's gonna have to happen?
Yep. So one of the big things is you have to have advanced detection. And so we have to upgrade all of the detection equipment. We have to upgrade the cameras. We have to upgrade the controllers that are out there in the cabinets. And so it's a massive undertaking. But our traffic guys are up for it. In fact, they've already started implementing it and testing out different components to make sure that everything's going to go as smoothly as possible.
All right. Very good. Well, you guys are both doing pretty well with the heat so far. That one I can see having a little more impact on you. This one's not a huge jump in intensity. This is Da Bomb Evolution Hot Sauce. This one is talking about traveling beyond insanity. They returned to ground zero and found the final answer. This is their evolution. This might be a cult, but it's a hot sauce and we're gonna give it a shot. It has 135,600 Scoville heat units. So that's gonna be the next one up. Let's give it a shot.
Some small, it's good.
Yeah.
Oh, they're very small. You can have this one if you want. No, you good? All right. What are your thoughts on that flavor?
That's true. I can't really taste the flavor.
Yeah, it's kind of non-existent.
Oh.
It's kind of red.
All spice.
So, and it sure is there. So, just like these hot sauce, your work is never ending because there's always something to fix, upgrade, build. How do you prioritize those different projects?
Sure. Well, so every piece of our infrastructure is essentially, it's an asset. It's an asset to the town. And so a good program of asset management is really what we do. Well, that's starting to get hot.
What's the question again?
But anyway, so we get a condition assessment on all of those, and then we prioritize and we plan out all of that work. And so we'll get a score on our streets, score on our water, sewer, and then we'll prioritize those projects. So for instance, if we know that a street needs to be replaced, yeah, it's getting a little hot. If a street needs to be replaced, but so does the water line, we don't want to put the street in and then come up and dig up the new street for the water line. So we'll prioritize that, and that's where we'll work with Brian and our capital group, and we'll plan out that 5 years. And so maybe the year before we're doing the street, we're doing the water line or the sewer line to have the least impact on residents.
I would also add, well, those are projects where we're rehabbing or replacing existing infrastructure. My tongue isn't working right.
It's numb, probably.
Yeah, mine's numb.
We were rehabbing or replacing existing infrastructure. We also have new infrastructure that needs to go in. And what we do is we have a modeling that we have our whole water and wastewater system in a model, computer model. And as new development comes online, we'll input that in there and we'll keep that model update to help determine where we need to add new infrastructure to make sure that everybody has services that they need.
So let's talk about heat. How we doing? How we feeling?
It's a full mouth heat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can feel
in
the
my-
perspiration on my head.
Yep.
That's the great thing about being bald.
A little head sweat, always a good sign. Means it's working. But otherwise, doing okay. Tongue dexterity back.
Yeah, I feel like I'm hanging in there.
Good. Well, great news. We've got another one for you. This is going to be from the Pucker Butt Pepper Company.
Oh, that's great.
It's the extra mean green. It calls this a heating index 4, which is just made up. And they say it's smoking hot with an N and an apostrophe instead of a G. They say it's a smooth, allegedly, but intense ghost pepper blend infused with the highest quality peppers. It's green and the kick is hillbilly mean. Whatever that might mean. So, let's give it a shot.
So there's another one after ghost pepper.
Yeah, there's one that's more that's happening in a second, but it's all good. Ooh. Flavor thoughts?
Actually, not bad.
Kind of green. It has a very green flavor to it, like a green sauce.
I feel like they grow on you.
They grow on you, as in you like them more, or they become worse.
They become worse.
Oh yes, that's true. Because what's happening is the capsaicin is reacting with your body, and your body's saying, "Stop doing this," but we're gonna keep doing it.
My body's saying that.
Capsaicin? I have no idea what that is.
That is the chemical in this that makes it spicy.
Oh.
So, and the way the Scoville heat unit works is slightly fascinating. You're engineers. You might find it more interesting than I. What it means is the amount of water in drops to make a single drop of this be not spicy. So the lower the units, you would only need 1,200 drops to make this not spicy.
So just a couple of gallons.
Whereas this one would be, yes, 72,000 or 702,000. I don't want to oversell it. But yeah, that's how Scoville heat units work, or at least that's what the internet told me. And I believe it. So, next question. If a local resident sees an area in town that could use some maintenance, what's the best way to get that to you in a way where you can actually make some actionable decisions on it?
Sure. The best way would be to either call Public Works directly or email Public Works directly. To call Public Works, it's 972-874-6400. And if it's after hours, it'll get relayed over to our dispatch. We can just dispatch somebody out. And the email, it's publicworks@flower-mound.com. But really, if you have anything you needed, if you contact the town, they'll get you to the right spot.
All right. Well,
Seriously.
we're at that moment, gentlemen, where if you don't remember the last episode, this has already been sauced. This last sauce is called the Last Dab Apollo. Why is it called the Last Dab, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Because we're now each going to put one last little dab
That sounds really stupid.
on our wing. It's a poor decision, but we do it because those are the rules. So I'll leave that to you. Just one little dab.
You want me to dab yours?
No, I'm good. I dab my own. No, I'll do it.
Sorry.
I'm like dabbing them.
Let's be real careful.
Oh my.
My God.
That did not go as planned, I see. I'll let you try to knock a little bit of that off if it'll come, but yeah, there you go.
All
All right, so before you try that, I'm gonna go ahead and just preload you with this last question, and feel free to answer, because I know we won't taste this. It's just gonna happen to us. We're not gonna taste it. So, because you handle so many different projects around town, you've done a lot of different things in your field, what is the coolest or most fun piece of equipment to operate? But you will answer that after we wait. And I was almost remiss. This is the last dab Apollo, which is 2 million Scoville heat units.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So with that being said, what's the coolest piece of equipment to operate?
Well, my mouth is on fire now. So I would say the coolest piece of equipment to operate. First off, they don't let me operate the heavy equipment, but the guys would probably say the dozer. The dozer can pretty much just bull right through anything. But one of the cool things we do with our bulldozer, speaking of fire, is we actually work with our fire department, and we have a couple of guys, a couple of our dozer operators that are trained in wildland firefighting. They're not firefighters, but they assist the firefighters, and they go and they'll bulldoze fire breaks through wildland fires. And yeah, so that's probably the coolest piece of equipment.
Very good. Brian?
I don't like I said, I don't really operate. We don't really operate too many pieces of equipment as engineers, but dozer is always fun. I like the larger track hose. It's a big piece of equipment. But yeah, I don't get to operate. They don't give me the keys.
Well, congratulations, gentlemen. You've made it through. I would ask how you feel, but I can tell it's not great. Any further thoughts on that?
Not great is a pretty good explanation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever had anything that spicy before.
Yeah. It's a lot. So I'm getting pretty good with it. So it's still a lot. I'm still using water. I thought I could go a little longer, but I couldn't. So before I go, I have to mention Public Works is hiring. If I were someone in the job market, what should I know for my job opportunities to come work for you guys? What do you have to offer?
Well, I would say Public Works has a lot to offer. We have a lot of various different roles. We have a lot of various different things that we're doing. But the biggest thing is working for Public Works. You have a direct impact on making sure that the infrastructure is in place and you affect thousands of residents and their quality of life. So if you're looking for a sense of purpose and a sense of being, that's Public Works. We have excellent benefits. We have competitive pay, and like I said, we have various different positions open. And so we're currently offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus. And so if you come and choose a career with us in Public Works, be part of our family, and have a sense of purpose, you also get $1,500 whenever you come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, gentlemen, thank you both for agreeing to be on the hot seat for this Bringing the Heat video. Thank you guys for everything you do, and thank you for everyone at home, and hopefully you learned a little bit more about our Public Works. We'll see you next time on Bringing the Heat. You made it so far.
How bad was it?
That last one was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, and then it wasn't bad, and then it just went like.
I feel like we did way better than Brandon.
The wall.